if we are all together, if you're with me right now, boys and girls, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. On Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Woof, on YouTube, Periscope, on Schmutz. We're live. I love you, Tough Cookies. If you're with me, say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Say yeah.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, tonight our show is dedicated to the one, the only Little Richard Penniman, the man, the myth, the legend, one of the greatest artists of all time. Tonight, if you are not ready to have some fucking fun, to move your bodies, to get lifted, then you should leave right now, because it's going to be all action, all Richard, all the time. Woo! Hands up! Gonna tell Aunt Mary about Uncle John. Say me there's a misery, but he has a lot of fun. Oh, baby. Yeah, baby. Woo, baby. Having some fun tonight. Come on, sing along. Well, long, tall, salad sheets, built the speech you got. Everything that Uncle John needs, oh, baby. Yeah, baby. Woo, baby. Having some fun tonight. Well, long, tall salad said, long, tall salad. He saw Mary coming and he ducked back in the alley. Oh, baby. Come on. Yeah, baby. Woo, baby. Having some fun tonight. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Have some fun tonight. Come on. Everything's alright. Have some fun tonight. Have some fun. Having some fun tonight. Shit! For Richard! Now long, tall salad she's built the speech you got. Everything Uncle John needs, oh baby. Yeah, baby. Woo, baby. Having some fun tonight. Let's get real low. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Clap along. Have some fun tonight. Come on. Everything's alright. Everything's all motherfucking right. Have some fun, having some fun tonight. Long, tall, salad sheet, built for speech you got. Everything that Uncle John needs, oh baby. Hey, baby. Ooh, baby. Having some fun tonight. Hey. I love you, Tough Cookies. Tonight is for the original Tough Cookie. The one, the only king and queen of rock and roll, Little Richard. This is for you. Without you, there ain't me. Without you, there's no rock and roll. Come on. Well, it's Saturday night and I just got paid. Throw about my money, don't try to save. My heart said go, go, have a time. Saturday night and I feel fine. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna ball it up. I'm gonna rip it up. Gonna shake it up. I'm gonna rip it up and ball tonight. Get up. Ball to the Tennessee, to go to the table down the top. Can see that gonna rip it up. just got paid. Fool about my money, don't try to say it. My heart said go, go, have a time, but it's Saturday night, and I feel fine. I'm gonna rip it up, I'm gonna shake it up, I'm gonna rip it up, I'm gonna ball it up, I'm gonna rip it up and ball tonight. I'm gonna rip it up for the tough cookies. For the tough cookies, we're celebrating Little Richard tonight. Clap. Clap. If you with me, say yeah. If you with me, say yeah. Say yeah. Say alright. Say alright. Alright. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna shake it up and ball tonight. Boys and girls, are you feeling alright? Are you ready to get lifted tonight? Boys and girls, Little Richard has left the building, but he is still with us right here in this little rock and roll club that we got going on called Tough Cookies. You babies, you are the rock and roll stars because you made it through another fucking week. These are hard times. These are strange times. But you can't lose that glow. You can't lose that hope. You can't lose that feeling. That Saturday night feeling. Tell me, are you with me? Tough cookies, are you with me? Yeah. Are you with me tonight on a Saturday night? Say yes.
Yes.
Say yes.
Yes.
Stand up and say yes.
Yes.
Slipping and a slide, peeping at a high. Been told a long time ago. Slipping and a slide, peeping at a high. Been told a long time ago. I've been told, baby, you've been fooled. I won't be your fool no more. Oh, Miss Leonard, she's a solid sinner. the church of rock and roll. We sweat together. We laugh together. We cry together tonight. If it wasn't for you, Richard, I wouldn't be sitting here right now with these boys and girls. He was the first, and he was the greatest, and he was the least boring person that we ever saw. Can you imagine what it must have been in 1954, 1955, in a segregated America, in a segregated South, to have this gorgeous black man playing for white and black kids together, tearing off his clothes, wearing pink and purple and makeup. Can you imagine the shock? Can you imagine the liberation? Yes, you can, because it's still shocking. We still feel it. Boys and girls, without Little Richard, there's no rock and roll. There's no Elvis, there's no Beatles, there's no Rolling Stones, there's no David Bowie, there's no James Brown, there's no Prince. There's no Madonna. Yo! Hey. I have a brand new song, it's on our new album. And I wrote this song with Richard in mind. Ooh, I'm feeling hot. Ooh, I'm feeling hot. Are you feeling hot? Can we sweat together? It's like a full-time job just to open up your brain for the parties. But when you get out in the world, these motherfuckers shove you back in the closet. Do your shit, do it well. You got to bug it for yourself, because nobody else will believe you. Nobody else will believe you, but I do. If you're meant to do the bullshit, then you better not have visions of glory. Woo! Just wash your hands with toilets and just turn around and tell a story. Do your shit, do it well. You gotta bug it for yourself, because nobody else will believe you. Nobody else will believe you, but I do. Jerking on his Jackson's getting ready to steal it. You best be rolling up your sleeves and give your schmucks a little taste of the real thing. Ready? Do your shit, do it well. You gotta bug it for yourself, because nobody else will believe you. Nobody else will believe you. Come on. Nobody else will believe you. Nobody else will believe you, but I do. Are you feeling good? Tell me, boys and girls of the Tough Cookies, where are you right now? Are you in England? New Jersey, California, Virginia, Japan? Where are you? I want to know where you're sitting right now. What are you wearing? How are you feeling? I want you to get together. I want you to say hello to each other, to your pals, to all the tough cookies in this room right now. Richard wants us to be together. He does not want us to cry. He wants us to have a good time tonight. He wants us to lift each other up tonight. He wants us to lift each other up during this crisis time. Boys and girls, I love you. You have kept me going for 8 weeks through this bullshit. And look at us. Together, we're still here. We're still here. Ain't going nowhere. We're still motherfucking here. And nobody can turn us around. I love you, babies. Tonight is for little Richard Penniman. Born in Macon, Georgia. He lived 87 years. He came from outer space. Once in a while in history, you get an artist that shows up fully formed, a total original, who sees all the doors in front of him. Racism, poverty, homophobia, the music business, 1950s conservatism, morality, censorship, and all the limitations of space and time and gender and all the things that oppress us. He saw them all and he said, goodbye. I don't see you. I don't acknowledge you. I will be a pure light. I will be a pure force, and this force will be rock and roll. That is where we get rock and roll, is a purity. It's a pure force from here to here, from heart to heart, from soul to soul, from body to body, sweat to sweat. I wrote an article about Richard last year. I was asked if I could interview anybody on the planet. Who would I interview? And the magazine would try and get an interview. Well, we couldn't get the interview with me and Richard. He stopped doing interviews years ago. But I wanted to tell people how I felt about him. So I wrote this article. You can see it on all of our social media pages. It's called Pour on the Steam. Pour on the Steam, which he did. He made us all hot and disoriented and excited and sultry and all the things. I will just read you the first paragraph of my article. He was black, gorgeous, and dangerous. Let me say that again. Capital B, he was black. He was capital G, gorgeous. Capital D, dangerous. A broke-ass child of God scrubbing dishes at the Greyhound station in Macon, Georgia. He was from Macon, Georgia. An absolute Jim Crow segregated town in Georgia in the 1950s is when he exploded. This scullery-made star man in the segregated state of Georgia with his tiny mustache, dripping sweat, he would wash the slop, roll his eyes, and sing into the garbage pile. This was little Richard Penniman at age 19. Boys and girls, read the article. I'll tell you all about his childhood. I'll come back to this article a little later. But I thought I would do one of my favorite Little Richard songs. rock and roll, I think of Little Richard. It was blues, it was country, it was rhythm and blues, it was gospel, it was soul, and it was something completely different. It was everything. You know, when you hear that voice, you know that it's rock and roll. You know when you hear his piano, when it does that. You know it's rock and roll, baby. You know, yeah, baby, clapping with me now, 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 now. You keep it knocking, but you can't come in. You keep it knocking, but you can't come in. You keep it knocking, but you can't come in. Come back tomorrow night and try it again. I said, man, you said you love it, but you can't come in. You said you love it, but you can't come in. You said you love it, but you can't come in. Come back tomorrow night and try it again. Say, yeah.
Yeah.
Say, yeah.
Yeah.
I love you, babies. And I love you, Richard. I'm so proud of all of you. All the people on the front lines. Everybody holding strong. Everybody staying cool. Everybody staying hot. Ha ha! You are the heroes and you are the stars of this show that we created together and that we're creating right now. That show is called Tough Cookies. Tough Cookies. You boys and girls are tough cookies. You have dealt with so much bullshit, so many lies, so much chicanery. I gotta look that one up. Chicanery. You've dealt with so much. Physical, emotional, spiritual conflict. You know people who are sick. You know people who have lost people. And we're all separated from each other. Physically. But look at us, right here. They say there's no live music. This is live music. And you know who was the greatest of live music was Little Richard. He was like a bomb going off in the 1950s in this country. He was so far ahead of his time. And let's be honest, he never really got his due. So we need to honor him tonight. That's why we're doing this show. All Richard tonight. And all of Richard's orbit. You know, there was a book in the 1980s. It was an authorized biography by this guy from England. His name was Charles White. He was a chiropractor. But for some reason, Richard liked him and he opened up to him. And he wrote this book, The Life and Times of Little Richard, the Quasar of rock. The Quasar. That was him from another fucking planet. Can you imagine listening to How Much Is That Fucking Doggy in the fucking window? And then seeing Little Richard. Can you imagine that shit? It must have been completely mind-blowing. It's still mind-blowing. Boys and girls, I'm feeling very sweaty. Very hot. Woo! Oh, shit! Keep the fucking thing up because... Oh! Turn. No. Enough. Stop. Don't I look pretty tonight? Woo! But you, Richard, turn. My pants. My pantaloons. Oh, boys and girls, we do have a virtual tip bucket, Venmo, PayPal, all the fucking things. We're selling Tough Cookies copper bangles. We're selling Tough Cookies t-shirts and posters. But most of all, we are giving hope. We are lifting each other up. You're giving it to me. I'm giving it to you. We got each other, babies. I have a very exciting announcement that's coming next week. I can only give you a little angel kiss of it, but to show my appreciation for all the people on the front lines. The doctors, the nurses, the scientists, the researchers, the orderlies, the security people, everybody working in these hospitals, these rehab centers, these testing sites. We have been invited to perform at a COVID unit somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where because you can't come. It is, I'm nervous about this. I want to do the best job for these people, and we have to take quite a lot of precautions to do this. So I don't want to say too much. But next week, stand by. Because of your support, because you have sustained us to this point, somehow we reached people in all these hospitals, COVID patients and doctors and therapists, and some of them have reached out and greased the wheel for us to do a performance safely for people on the front lines. And it's my greatest pleasure to be able to do that. And stand by for the details. I'm also not giving this shit up. I'm going to keep this tough cookie show and going as long as you want it, babies. As long as you want me to keep doing this shit. As long as you want this. Woo! You got it. Woo! Oh, shit. Oh, I made a mess. Oh! One of my favorite movies of all time. Little Richard in Technicolor. It's called The Girl Can't Help It. But I need your help. I need you to sing these words. She can't help it, the girl can't help it. Repeat. She can't help it, she can't help it. Can't help it, can't help it. She can't help it, the girl can't help it. Can't help it. When she walks by, the men forget it. Oh, she can't help it, the girl can't help it. When she walks by, the bread slices turn to toast. Can't help it, the girl can't help it. Well, she's got a lot of what they call the most. Can't help it, the girl can't help it. The girl can't help it, she was born to please. Can't help it, the girl can't help it. And if she's got a different man to squeeze, won't you kindly be aware? I can't help it. Yeah! Jane Mansfield. Jane Mansfield and Little Richard, what else do you need? She mesmerizes every mother's son. She walks by, the beefsteaks become well done. She makes Grandpa feel like 21. She can't help it, a girl was born to please. And if she's got a bigger man to squeeze, won't you kindly be aware that someday the answer will be the girl can't help it. She's in love with me. She can't help it. The girl can't help it. One more time. She can't help it. The girl can't help it. She was born to please. And if she's got a bigger guy to squeeze, won't you kindly be aware? I can't help it. I can't help it. Ooh! Ooh! Yeah! Jenny, 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 won't you come along with me? so happily. Yeah. Spin it, baby, spin it like a spinning top. Spin it like a spinning top. You gotta see the mama bitch, she is a rock. Jenny, 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 won't you come along with me? Jenny, 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 won't you come along with me? You know that I love you, we live so happily. Hey, Jenny. Hey, come on, babies. It's Saturday night. You gotta feel alright. Come along. Come on. Lucille, you are to your sister way. Lucille, you are to your sister way. I'm big to you, baby, but I love you still. I woke up this morning, Lucille, but not in sight. I asked my friends about it, but all their lips was tight. Lucille, please don't back where you belong. I'm big to you, baby, please don't leave me alone. Hey, are you clapping? That was rock and roll that you can dance to, baby. Hey! I woke up this morning, Lucy was not in sight. I asked my friends about it, but it's time. Lucy, baby, satisfy my heart. I've been to you, baby, maybe someone wanted to start. Yeah! Hey, yeah! Lucille, I love you tough motherfucking cookie. I love every single one of you. Say yeah! Say yeah! Are you feeling good? Lucille, keep some back where you belong. Lucille, please come back where you belong. I'm big to you, baby. Please don't leave me alone. Oh, are you feeling good? I love you, babies. I sweat for you. I show for you. I'm here for you. Boys and girls, this is the church of rock and roll. It's the synagogue of rock and roll. It's the mosque of rock and roll. It's the nothing of rock and roll. This is everything and nothing all at once. This is a comedy club. This is a sacred space. This is modern art. This is performance art. And it's nothing at the same time. We are here together, then we leave each other. What we must do, we must get together and make the most of these precious, gorgeous little moments. I see you. I see you and I see you. Mwah. What little Richard did, he took a flamethrower. He turned on the flamethrower and all of a sudden we could see everything for a tiny little moment. It was scary, but also exciting. And then we went back to our normal lives, but we want that flamethrower. Here it is. We got to give it to each other. Boys and girls, can I play some guitar? Do they want to hear me play guitar?
Yeah, man.
Ooh, shit. Oh, shit. This guy right here, Richard Penniman, he was born odd. He was not the most popular kid in school. He was not the most outgoing child in school. He was ridiculed, he was bullied, he was made fun of, he was ostracized. People did not understand him. He was quote-unquote effeminate. He was quote-unquote strange. He was offensive. He had a limp. One of his legs was shorter than the other. He became a very celebrated drag queen. He became an absolutely electric gospel and rhythm and blues singer. But still, boys and girls, that was not enough. That was the world that he was born into. He wanted to create something new. And a very small, little-known piece of trivia about Little Richard. In 1956, I believe, all of a sudden he became so famous. And he had all these local gigs in Georgia. He was from Macon, Georgia. And all of a sudden he gets calls to play in England and California and New York City. And he didn't want to give up his gigs in Georgia. So he called up his friend from down the street in Augusta, Georgia, and he said, listen, I need somebody to be me on stage in Georgia. I need somebody to imitate Little Richard. And he hired this person from Augusta, Georgia to be Little Richard for a couple weeks. And boys and girls, does anybody know who that person was? His name was James Brown. He was just starting out with his group called the Famous Flames. And he was just about to put out their first big hit song, which came right after he was a Little Richard imitator. This was James's first hit song. One of. With Richard's help. Try me. Try me. Darling, tell me you love me so. Try me. Try me. Darling, don't you ever let me go. I need you. I need you. Hold me. Hold me. Darling, stop my heart from crying. Hold me. Come on, hold me. Darling, stop my heart from dying. I need you. I need you. Boys and girls, this was James Brown and his Famous Flames in 1957 in Georgia. And he was imitating the one and only, his good friend, his lifelong friend, his soul brother, Little Richard. Richard got James started. Yeah, that's right. Sing it with me. Walk with me. Talk with me. Baby, stay by my side. Walk with me. Talk with me. Our love we'll never hide. I need you. I need you. I need you. Little little something called Try Me by James Brown and the Famous Flames. And then, boys and girls, if that wasn't enough, Dianu, if that was not enough, who else from Georgia did Little Richard start their career at 15 years old? His little prodigy, who joined his band, the Upsetters, at age 15. His name, from Macon, Georgia. Anybody know it? The Big O, Otis Redding. Otis Redding at 15 years old with Little Richard. Many, many years later, when Otis was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Richard was the man who inducted him, who gave the speech, and he sang this song, which everybody watching right now will sing along to. Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting in the evening come. Here we go. Watching the ships roll in, and I watch them roll away again. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay. I had nothing to live for. Seems like nothing's gonna go my way. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Look like nothing's gonna change. Everything still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I remain the same. I'm sitting here resting my bones. Loneliness won't leave me alone. 2,000 miles I roam just to make my dock this home. Yeah, sitting on the dock of a bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of a bay, wasting time. Come on. I can't whistle today. Little Richard. We don't think of him. Many people don't think of him as a soul singer, but he was. Otis Redding idolized Little Richard. Richard started his career. And just to prove it, I want to play you something very special. Boys and girls, in the 1960s, Richard hired a guitar player in his band whose career he started, who played amazing soul guitar as a teenager in his band. Does anybody know his name? His name was Jimi Hendrix from Seattle. That's right. Richard, the pioneer. James Brown, Otis Redding, Jimi Hendrix. All coming through that Little Richard funnel. And Richard made some amazing soul music in the 60s. And this is one of the great vocal soul performances of all time. You never treat me right. Girl, you party all the time. Ooh, yeah, you won't do me no good. I'd leave you if I got. I don't know what you got, but it's got me. Woo! Hey, hey, hey. You are very, 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 very much to look at. Woo! But you always know where it's at. I'd leave you if I could. Oh, you don't do me no good. But baby, I don't know what you got. I don't know what you got. I don't know what you got. Tonight we're talking about Little Richard from Macon, Georgia. Soul brother, rock and roll king and queen, the originator, the innovator. Oh, I gave you everything I had in my bank, and you never even one time said thanks. Oh, you don't do me no good. I should leave it if I could, but baby, I don't know what you got. Come on, I don't know what you got. Clap along now. I don't know what you got. I don't know what you got, but it's got me. Hey, it's got me. Woo! I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I love you. And to my own mom, love you. Richard loved his mom, Lily Mae Penniman. She taught him how to sing. She taught him how to put on makeup. She said, boy, you are special. You're gonna be a star. Even though you're black, even though you're from the South, even though you're poor, you're gonna be a star. Woo! I don't know what you got. I don't know what you got. I don't know what you got. But it's got me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Clap along with it and hold. It's got me. Ooh, yeah. Come on, fire! Good golly, Miss Are you feeling good? If you're feeling good, say yes.
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 I want everybody right now. This is not a time to have a moment of silence. This is a time to make noise for Richard. Make him hear us. Yes. Everybody say yes. Everybody say woo. I love you, babies. Can I do one more song for you? Can I do one more song for you?
Yeah, man.
Do we still have some people with us?
Of course we do.
Boys and girls, it's our job to make a future for our kids, for future generations of America and the world. And rock and roll and soul music is an essential part of our culture. It's something we need. It's something we need to pass on. I want to share with you the last paragraph of my article about Little Richard. What did he do for us in the 1950s? What did he do for us for the last 70 years? He changed the molecules, screaming and laughing and shaking and flirting with all of us. All of us. He flashed his teeth. He took off his clothes. He was lightning in a bottle. Let me see some lightning bolts. He was lightning in a bottle. It was no religion. It was every religion. His performances stitched freedom into our pleasure centers. He is the least boring individual we have ever seen. It feels dangerous. It feels familiar. And it makes everything else look like bupkis, like scrambled eggs. Love you, Richard. I wrote a song, a Low Cut Connie song, about this very topic. I need to know that I have some people with me right now to sing along with this, to feel this with me, and to know that the flame is alive and it's very flamey. Woo! Rock and roll is alive. The spirit in our country, in our world, is alive. No matter what the fuck they say, no matter what the fuck they do to us, no matter what the fuck they put in front of us, no matter what bullshit, we are one people. We are together. We are soul. Old, young, black, white, gay, straight, rich, poor, all together. We work together. We take care of each other. We entertain each other. Hands up. Put your hands up in the air. Hey, hey. Hey. I used to be a soldier. Now I'm getting older. I start to feel so lazy. And I can't be trusted. And I'm still disgusted. Goddamn right. Come on, children, lift it up. Let the jerk-offs do their stuff. Touch my body, touch my soul. Revolution, rock and roll. Come on, children, rip it up, rip it up. Let the jerk-offs clean it up. Touch my body, touch my soul. Revolution, rock and roll. Say yeah.
Yeah.
I love you, babies. I love every single one of you. I will see you next Thursday and Saturday. Take care of each other. Stay strong. Stay cool. Stay hot. And let's just do one more little motherfucking thing. Fuck it. A wop bop a lula a lop bam boom. Oh, tutti frutti. Oh, tutti frutti. Oh, tutti frutti. Oh, tutti frutti. Oh, come on. A wop bop a lula a lop bam boom. I got a girl named Sue. She knows just what to do. Woo! I got a girl named Sue. She knows just what to do.